you are. Yes, so we're starting right about now. So we have our game educator here, and his name is Oluwatosin Ogunyebi. Ogunyebi. Tosin, help me out. Ogunyebi, yes. And is an advocate for Buildbox, and he's also like a game developer, and he'll be teaching us for the next 4 days, where we'll be having this training at the same time every day. So 4 p.m. every day. Let's try to come early so that we'll be able to start on time and we'll be able to proceed. Yes, so I see that more people are joining us. And I know that at least by today we should have up to 20 to 30 students. While I try to still reach out to everyone, so Tosin will be taking over from here. Tosin will be taking over from here. So Tosin, over to you. So I'm just gonna make you and post now. All right, Tosin, the floor is yours.
All right then. Hi everyone. Good evening. Like Dami said, I'm Oluwatosin Ogunyebi. I'm a game developer and also the community leader at Buildbox Africa for Africa Communicate. It's a community of people that build games with Buildbox basically. And what is Buildbox? Buildbox is a no-code solution for developing games and fast prototyping. Why do I say fast prototyping and what do I mean by fast prototyping? It's basically you ideating the game you want to build today and sending your game to the App Store like next week. That's how fast it is to build games with Buildbox. I don't know if any of you has played Color Switch. Color Switch was a game built with Buildbox, and it grossed over 300 million downloads across the different Play stores, the different app stores for both iOS and Android. And the funny thing is, the prototype of Color Switch was built in less than a week. So that shows how fast it is to build games on Buildbox. And another interesting thing is when people say, I want to build game, I want to build game, a lot of people think it's just about writing programs and doing so many rocket science. But no, with Buildbox, game development is much more easier and faster to do. So without too much talk, I would like us to just dive in straight and get started with Buildbox. So let's open the package and see what Buildbox actually looks like. So to start with, you can head over to buildbox.com. I will be sharing my screen right now.
Hi Tosin, you're muted. We can't hear you. All right, let me.
Oh, I'm really sorry about that. What did you hear me say last? Sorry.
Let's head over to Buildbox, I think. Yeah.
All right then. Okay, so basically, there are 3 free plans on Buildbox, which is you have the free plan, the plus, and the pro. With the free plan, you can get started with building your games, although you might not be able to publish it for Android and iOS yet, but with that, you can prototype your game and see if your game is worth publishing and get feedback from people. So that's like the rapid prototyping effects that Buildbox has. So I don't want to bore us with too much talk, honestly. Honestly, I don't want to bore us with too much talk. Let's just get started with building games. So if you're on Buildbox website already, and if you do not have Buildbox on your PC, you can just go here and click on get started with the free version. Once you do that, it would ask you what laptop you are using, either a Mac or a Windows laptop. So depending on the one you're using, you click on. If you're using a Mac, you click on download for Mac, and if you're using a Windows PC, you would click on download for Windows. Then once you are done downloading, you can start installing Buildbox. The installation process isn't that difficult at all, but I'll just try to go through it with us. Okay. So can you still see my screen? I'm not so sure you should, but let me get Buildbox here.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. Okay. So, if you can see my screen, you should be able to see the Buildbox. This is it downloaded here. Then what you just have to do is double click on it to start installing. I already have Buildbox on my PC, but this is how the installation wizard looks like. Then from there, you click on next, wherever you want to install your Buildbox, preferably in your programs file folder on your desktop. Then after that, you just click on next, and install. Then after installation, that will be all. Then you'll have your Buildbox to launch, basically. So can we all go through that process if we don't have Buildbox installed yet?
All right, so we'll check that one after the other. So for those of us that are a bit lost, so I'll be sharing the steps with us here in the chat and also
Thank you very much.
on Telegram, right? So like once we have a number of people that have installed, then we'll proceed. Okay. So
all right then. So I'll be waiting for us to install Buildbox, and I'll just try to go through it again step by step. Once you have Buildbox downloaded for your laptop, depending on which platform you are on, either a Mac or a Windows, I'm using a Windows PC. You double click on the executable file. Then after that, you have this setup wizard where you have to install Buildbox. So I'm currently using the latest version of Buildbox, which is 3.3.11. I believe that should be the one you'd get once you download from Buildbox's website now. So click on next. Then after that, just ensure that the file location where you're installing it is valid enough and has enough space, at least. You can see here, it says at least 413.2 MB of free disk space is required. Then after this, you click on next, then next, then next, then install. Then after that, you should be good to go. So this is me installing it from my own end.
okay, so if anyone wants to ask a question, just raise your hands on Telegram. Click on raise hands. Just click on raise hands, and I'll unmute you so you ask the question. So just raise your hands if you have a question. But I'm typing the steps for us so you can just follow. Okay. All right. So I'm going to unmute everyone for a while. So I want to hear what's happening. I want to know what's happening from our end. Okay. So just unmute us for a while. All right. So yes, we can unmute ourselves. So what's happening, everybody? So are we downloading it? Are we getting it? Do we have questions?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, downloading
Yes,
it.
we are.
Okay.
My name is Emanuela.
Hi,
We are downloading
Emanuela.
it.
Hi.
Downloading
Hello.
it and I've
My
signed up.
name's Derek.
Hi, Derek. All right. Okay. So yes, let's download. Let's download. I
I've
know some of.
downloaded Buildbox and I've signed up.
Okay, you've downloaded and you signed up. Who is that?
Emoyedele Damilare.
All right, Oedele Damilare. Well done. Well done.
My name
Okay.
is Emmanuel.
I'm downloading it.
My name is
Downloading. Okay, all right. Yes.
My name is
Ask a question. Are you supposed to download it?
Ma, are you supposed to download it?
Yes, you are. So
My name
if you
is
have,
Emmanuel. I am downloading it.
all right, Emmanuel.
I saw something on my screen. Smart screen cannot be reachable right now.
Smart screen cannot be reachable right now.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any button? Is there anything that says you should do there?
Button. Run or
What?
run.
Run or don't run? Okay, click on run. All right. The apologies. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to unmute now. The apologies. Okay, I know you have questions.
Ma, how do you download it?
Okay, so are you on the chat group? Can you see all the messages I typed on the chat group? Okay.
Is it chat book? All the messages.
Okay.
On the chat, yes. So I put
Yes,
a
I've
link
seen
there. All right. So there's a link there. Then click on free plan. When you're on the link,
click on free plan or something.
Yeah, so on that free plan, click on get started on that free plan. Okay.
On that free plan, click on get started.
Started. All right.
Get started. Yes, ma.
Yes, then click on Mac or Windows. Which type of laptop are you using? Is it
Mac or Windows? Windows.
All right.
Windows.
So, yeah, so click on Windows. Then you wait for it to download, okay? So just wait for us to download. Okay. And once you have downloaded, once you've downloaded it, just type it on the chat that yes, you've downloaded. I want to know how many people have downloaded. I want to know how many of us have downloaded. So just type it for me so I know.
So I want to know how many of us have downloaded.
So once you've downloaded it completely, once it says download complete, yes, just let me know.
What does it download completely?
Yeah, so I've seen, I think 3 people from Telegram says they've downloaded. That's very nice. Oyedele from here said he has downloaded. That's awesome. Okay, so I want more people to download. I want more people to download. More people to just download. All right. So today we're going to be working on, downloading it, setting it up, and then we'll explain to you how it works. Okay, how you can know how the environment works. Okay, what does which button means? Okay, what does the button do? So those are the things we'll be talking about today, because we want everybody to have downloaded it today, so that by tomorrow's class we're going to start building our game, so that on Monday, by the time we're finishing on Monday, we would have a very elaborate game, a very big game that we can share on Play Store, App Store. Yes. So whichever person builds the best game, right? I'll be TCKZone will be giving the person like a paid plan so that the person can upload it on Play Store or App Store, right? So you have to ensure that you build your game very well so that you can be the winner of the paid Buildbox plan. So you can upload your game on Play Store, App Store so that people can play as well. So let's keep downloading. Once you have downloaded, type it on the chat, on Zoom chat here for me, or type it on Telegram that I've downloaded, so I will know, so that we'll continue. Yes, Oyedele has downloaded, Bonali Samuel, Temiola has downloaded, okay. Who else? I've downloaded, I want to see. I've downloaded, who else? So let me know. I've downloaded. Me, I've downloaded my own. Our facilitator, the Oluwatosin, has downloaded his own. Yeah, so let's keep downloading. Don't forget, keep downloading. Some more people have been able to download theirs as well. That's very good. So I need 2 more people to tell me you've downloaded. Once 2 more people can tell me you've downloaded, then we'll continue from there. So 2 more people. So just tell me I've downloaded. So we'll continue. So just tell me that 2 more people. I know our internet can be very slow. Yes, but don't worry. You are going to get there. And you are going to download it and you are going to build your game. Yes, so let's keep downloading. If you have any questions, please just raise your hands. Or type it on the chat. So I'll answer your question. Okay? Raise your hands or type it on the chat so that I would answer your question. Okay? So raise your hands, type it on the chat so I answer your question. Don't forget, raise your hands, type it on the chat so I'll answer your question. Okay, so Oyedele has a question. All right, so I'm asking to unmute. Okay, so unmute your mic. Okay.
In Buildbox easy.
Yes, it is very easy to use. And like Tosin said, you can build your game very fast, right? Without writing code. Because Buildbox is like very, very easy to learn and use. There are even thousands of templates you can start with and build your game on those templates. Yes. So to answer your question, Buildbox is very easy to use. That's why we're using it to teach kids, right? So that's why we're using it to teach you now, because it's very easy to learn and understand. So as long as you have the app and you have your internet, you're good to go. There are like a lot of games you can actually build with Buildbox, like thousands and thousands of games that you can build with it. So let's just keep downloading it and we'll be ready to proceed very soon. Okay. Amazing. So I have one more person that I said I've installed. So I need downloaded. So I need just one more person. One more person to say I have downloaded. So I need one more person to say I have what downloaded. Just one more. Just one more. Just one more person. Just one more person. Just one more person. Yay! I have my last person that has downloaded. Amazing. Yes, you guys are all amazing. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let's go back and let Tosin show us, okay, how to install. So for those of us that have not gotten, okay, how to install. So Tosin, is it possible to show us how to install again? All right, so I can take screenshots for them as well. So Tosin, can you just show us, okay, how to install? All right, Timniola says installing is taking a while. Okay, so let's learn how to install. All right, Tosin, you can unmute and like just explain, okay, the installation again for us. Tosin, you're muted in case you're saying anything. Tosin, can you hear me?
Exactly. I said my audio was muted by the host.
Oh,
By
sorry.
you. All right then. So to install Buildbox, if you have Buildbox downloaded now, the first step is just to double click on Buildbox, the exe file. If that did not work for you, you can as well right click and click on open, and it should still do the same thing. And you would see a pop-up that says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Click on yes. Then after this, you should see a setup wizard that comes like this that says, it is recommended that you close all other applications before continuing. Click next to continue or cancel to exit setup. Just click on next to continue. Then it would automatically detect a location, a storage location to install it on your PC. So the default one should be fine by you unless you are advanced enough to switch your program files location, but the default location that comes with it should be fine. What you need is at least 413.2 MB of free disk space. So now you can check your PC and ensure that you have space on your PC. If you look at my PC now and you see my local disk, you can see that I still have about 72.1 gig free of local space on my hard drive. So ensure that you have at least 2 gig free on your local disk. So you will be able to install this because here it's required of you that you have at least 413.2 MB of free disk space. But I recommend you have something higher so your laptop doesn't start dragging because of storage space. So after this, you can click on next. Then this is just creating a program shortcut. Then click on next again. Then it asks you here if you want to create a desktop icon. That would just be to have like a Buildbox icon on your desktop. So from there you can access Buildbox and also associate BBdoc extension. So what is an extension? An extension is basically the format in which a particular file on your computer is. So Buildbox projects, when you are saving your Buildbox project, the extension is BBDOC. So that is the Buildbox extension. So wherever you see a file that has .bbdoc, you know that it's a Buildbox file. So why we're associating it with Buildbox is because it's only Buildbox that can open files like this. So after that, you click on next. Then after this, you click on install. Installation might take a while. So I'll just say, let us just wait patiently for our Buildbox setup to install. Any questions?
All right. Okay, so I'll take those steps one after the other. I know some of us didn't get it. Okay, but it's straightforward. It's straightforward, right? It's very straightforward, and I know we're capable of getting this. All right, so let me start. So the first thing is what? Can someone tell me? I don't know. I know I'm muted. Can someone tell me what when you've downloaded your app, what's the first thing you should do? Who is raising his or her hand? All right. Abolaji, I don't know your name. Okay, tell me your name. Unmute yourself and tell me your name. All right. So the lady, the girl is raising her hand. Okay, so unmute. Okay, so what's your name?
You go to link.
Hold on. Okay, what's your name? What's your name?
Manuela Kiabolaji.
Hi, Emanuela. All right. So after you've installed, okay. So what did Uncle Tosin say you should do first? Like when you've installed, though, when you've installed, do you know? After you've installed, I'm not hearing you. I don't know why I'm not hearing you. Maybe your internet. Okay, who wants to help out? Okay, so the first thing you need to do after you've installed, sorry, I said installed, after you've downloaded your app, sorry, that was my mistake. So after you've downloaded your app, so after download, what should you do? The first thing you should do is double click on it to open it. Double click on it to open it. Double click on the downloaded file to open it. Once you've done that, all right, so I'm trying to type it and share a screenshot as well for us. So double click on the downloaded file. To open it. So for some of us that are not getting it, okay, so here it is. So double click on the downloaded file to open it and then click on next. Click on next. All right, so click on next. So if you're not getting it, you can always check Telegram or you check the chat here on Zoom so you get it perfectly. Okay, check Telegram or check the chat here on Zoom. So after downloading, double click on the downloaded file to open it, then click on next. The next thing you need to do, once you click on next, you see another image that says, okay, choose file location. So try not to make any changes to that. I think the default one works properly. So just click on next again. So click on next again. That's for choose file location. So for those that have been able to install it without my help, yeah, you can go ahead and let me know that you've installed. For those of us that have not, just follow my instructions. either on Telegram or on the Zoom chat here. All right, so the next thing to show you is the program name. If you should create like a program name, so just click on next, and afterwards you're going to see create a desktop app, or a desktop icon. So click on next there again. With the desktop icon, you check it and then associate it with the BB, I think it's BBDOC. Okay. Yeah, associate it with the BBDOC extension. Then click on next. So some of us should have installed. Some of us should have installed it already. So I'm just trying to help those that haven't. I'm trying to help those that have not. Okay, so the next thing, I believe as soon as I'm done here, we all should also have finished installing. We should have all installed completely. All right, so prepare to install. So definitely we let it install. And then lastly, click on finish. Finish. Click on finish. So how many of us have clicked on finish? Raise your hands or just type it here. I've clicked on finish. I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. So let me know how many of us. How many of us have clicked on finish? All right, so I'm going to unmute everybody so we can all let me know how many of us have clicked on finish. Hi, Oluwatosin. Hi, Divine. How are you all doing? Okay, yes, so we can unmute. Okay, just tell me, have you installed? Have you gotten to this finish part where you clicked on finish? Everybody? Teminola, have you gotten there? Manuela, Akiambolaji, have you gotten there? Yes?
They said that continue with Google or continue with Facebook.
All right, just hold on, we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, Chosin, so just click on finish. I know the next thing. Okay,
Finish.
You have finished installation. You have even entered with Google.
Okay.
You have finished installation now.
all right, so I see some people have finished, they won't enter, they signed up with their Google account. All right, that's wonderful. All right, Tosin, so that's continue. All right, so Tosin, just click on finish, so you launch Buildbox, and we'll all see what's next. Okay, I need to unmute you. I don't know why. I need. All right, Tosin. I'm asking you to unmute, Tosin.
All right, then, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Okay,
All right,
so
then.
they click on finish, and let's see what next.
Okay then. So now let's launch Buildbox. So you would see click finish to exit setup. Once you are done with this, it should launch Buildbox. And now this will take us to the interesting part of Buildbox. Now, here is the Buildbox interface, and this is how it looks like. Over to your left, your topmost left, you have the create a new project. Are you with me? Can you hear me?
All right, Tosin, hold on.
Oh,
okay,
sorry.
are you signed in? Like,
I'm signed in already. I'm really sorry about that. I'm signed in already.
Right.
I'm really sorry about that.
Okay, can you sign out quickly so we
Let
can?
me quickly sign out and sign.
Yes,
in
so
for you guys.
Yeah, so we can see it, or maybe I'll just make screenshots from my own end. So I want to see how that interface looks like. Okay, sign out. All right, so
once you launch Buildbox, this is how it should look like at first. Okay. You should have an interface like this.
All right.
Now, good. This is the interface you should have. Continue with Google, continue with Facebook. So
and
now,
log in with the name, create an account manually, okay?
Yes, so now if you do not have a Buildbox account, what you would do is create an account manually. And with this, you could put in your username, your name, your email, your password, and you confirm the password and you create the account. So can you quickly do that? That's if you do not have an account.
Yes. All right. So I know a lot of us might not have our account. Okay. So what you need to do is just click on create an account manually. Then type your name. Okay. Type your password. Okay. Type your email. If you don't have an email address, tell your mom or your dad to give you their email address. So use their email address. Okay. So choose create an account manually. Open Buildbox, then choose create an account manually. So type in your name, type in your password, type in your email. If you don't have email, tell your mom or your dad to give you their email address. You've already logged in using your dad's Google account. Yes, no. If you've logged in, that's amazing. If you've logged in, that's good. That's good already. Yeah. So if you've logged in, that's very good. Okay. You don't need to create account manually anymore. All right. So, but if you don't have an account, okay, and if your parents' accounts are not logged in, all you have to do, you need to create an account manually. So type in your details. When you've created an account, to create your account, type in your details. Then click on enter, or what's the button that's there? Yes. Okay. I believe a lot of us should have done that.
Okay.
All right. So if you've done that, just type it quickly. We'll give about, I think, 5 more minutes to create your account. So just type it in the chat. I've created my account. I've created my account. I've created my account. All right. So type it in the chat so that I'll know if you have created your account. And once you've done that, I'll hand over to Tosin fully it will tell you, okay, the environment of Buildbox. So that's what we'll be looking at today, the environment of what? Of Buildbox. So every part of Buildbox, all the things you will need, all the buttons you will need. So that's what Uncle Tosin will be showing you today. So I'll hand over to Uncle Tosin. So he really want to show you all of that. Okay, so in just type it. I'm waiting for some people to type in what they have done. Like if they've created their accounts, I want some people to type it in for me. I've created my account. I want to know. Created my account. I'm waiting for some people to type. So if you've created your account, or you've logged in, or you've signed in, just type it here for me. Teminola, Diosifos, let me know. Let me know. Alex, let me know if you've created your account. Let me know. Let me know. You've logged in. Amazing. I didn't care. Wonderful. Wonderful. Who else? Who else? Who else has logged in? Who else has created their account? Okay, I need 2 more people. 2 more people. I need 2 more people. Hi, great. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. You're a bit late. Are you just joining in? If you're just joining in, okay. So if you're just joining in, just go through Telegram. I posted all the steps on Telegram, so you can follow us. All right, 1 more person. Okay, Alex has said he created his account, so I need 1 more person. Just 1 more. 1 more person. Keminiola, have you done yours? I want to be sure. Have you done yours? I know the apologies have done theirs. That's very good. So we're building our games. We're building our games. All right, Oyedele Adedoyin said he has done his own as well. Amazing. Yes, so we're good to go now. So just I'll hand over to Uncle Tosin. So it will take us through. All the steps, like the environment of Buildbox. We're just going to learn about the environment of Buildbox today. So once you're done learning about the environment of Buildbox, we'll round off the class for today. Then I want you to invite your friends, okay? I want you to make sure you invite your friends to come along with you tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll be starting the building of our game, all right? So invite all of them tomorrow. But today, let's still finish up, okay? In the environment of Buildbox. All right, so Tosin, over to you. Yes, so I just made you a post. Yeah, so go ahead.
Hello guys, awesome. Great to know that most of us have Buildbox already and we are logged in. So I would use the option of continue with Google, and I will just use my Google account. It's already connected, and yes, I'm in. So once I'm done signing in on the web browser, I can now close that and just head over to Buildbox, where I would have logged in successfully already. So as you can see, once you are successfully logged in, you should see the Buildbox interface. Sorry, okay. Good, you should see the Buildbox interface, something like this. So now, from this Buildbox interface, you can do quite a whole lot. If you look at the top right, the top left corner, you have file. From there, you can create a new project and you can open a saved Buildbox project already. And from there as well, you can like export to whichever platform you're making use of. And if you look at this, they are still faint though, but you would see the 4 different options to which you can export your games on Buildbox. That's iOS, Android, Steam, and Windows EXE. So Steam is basically a digital distribution platform on Windows PC as well. So from here, you can check details about your particular Buildbox account. As you can see here, it says I'm using a Buildbox free account, and these are the supported modules for my current license. So, and a bunch of Buildbox stuff, copyright. All right then. So you might have an issue when you launch it Buildbox for the first time. It would request you to have OpenAL. So if you can reach through this place, it says this software uses code from the OpenAL cross-platform audio library licensed under the LGPL version 2 and can be downloaded from this particular link here. So I'll copy this link for us now and drop it in the chat. So download OpenAL from that particular link so you can get that sorted out. So I've dropped that in the link. So if I click on OpenAL right now, from here, you'll be able to download the OpenAL platform. See it here. This is the Windows installer here. So you just download it and install it. So once you download it,
why did you drop the link?
The link is in the chats. I dropped the link in the chats. Check the chats.
Can you confirm? No, it's not.
Yes.
Check. Did you send to everyone?
Oh, okay. Let me check that. Let me check that. Let me check that again. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. You should be able to see it now. That's been sent to everyone.
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Awesome. So once you click on that link, you would have this. Just download the Windows installer. Then if you download the Windows installer, once you are done downloading, you try to open it up and you extract it. Once you are done extracting it, you should see the exe file here. So once you are done downloading, you should see this. So I'll wait for everyone to download this and let's set it up before we go ahead, so we don't have issues moving on. So over to you, Dami.
All right, so I'll need you to put them through this one. I didn't really get it. So if you can come again. Yeah.
All right then. Okay, so like I said before, let's go back to Buildbox and check this out. If we read through here again, they said this software uses code from OpenAL cross-platform audio library, licensed under the LGPL version 2 and can be downloaded from here. So Buildbox makes use of OpenAL because it's a cross-platform audio library. So we would have to install this to get some things sorted on Buildbox itself. So I would like us to download it as soon as possible. It is one of the requirements for you to get your Buildbox up and running quickly. So let's just go to the link like I dropped in the chats, and from there you'll be able to download it. So just click on Windows installer for your PC. Just click on Windows installer here. This is the link it will take you to. So just click on Windows installer. Have we all gotten to this page? Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay. So let's just have this downloaded, and once you are done downloading, all you need to do is extract it because it comes as a zip file. See it here, it comes as a zip file. This is a zip file here, it comes as a zip file. What you can do is right click on that zip file and extract. If you do not have a zip extractor on your PC, that might be an issue, but most of us should have that already, so you can just extract it. Then once you extract it, you'd be able to install it. So I'd really love us to get to this particular point so we can go through the installation process together.
Okay, so how many of us have downloaded the OpenAL? So I know some of us are still installing the app, but for those of us that installed the app, click on this link that was sent. Okay, click on this link that was sent. I also posted it on Telegram, so just click on it and click on download. Okay, and once you download the downloaded file, all you have to do is double click on it. Double click on it and extract. Once it's extracted, then double click on it again to install it. All right, I should resend the link. All right, let me send that. Yes, so that's the link. I sent it again. So Tosin will tell us, okay, the installation process now. So Tosin, just go ahead. I'll try to screenshot, so I'll send it to them on Telegram as well. All right, so you need to unmute. Okay, I've asked you to unmute.
Okay, thank you very much, Demi. So now for the OpenAL, what you just do is just the same way you install Buildbox, double click. Then after that, you should have a pop-up like this, the OpenAL install wizard. Then you just click on OK. And after that, that's all. Very, very easy. Just double click on it. After that, click on OK. And you'll be done with your installation. Did we get that?
Yes, just double click and click on OK.
Exactly. So that's all.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to the Buildbox interface. So if you've been able to install that and install OpenAL, let me know in the chat. So you can always do the installation, like even when we finish this class, you can always keep installing. But I want us to like go through the Buildbox interface to just see, okay, how everything looks. All right, so Tosin, take us through that. So I'm making you a host now, so you can, yeah.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Dami. So now let's go to Buildbox and see how it looks like. We can close this. Yes. Sorry about that. Yeah. So now this is the Buildbox interface. Like we started from, I think we've gone through the file tab here. We've seen that we can export to iOS, Android, Steam, and Windows exe. And we've gone through this as well. So the next thing would be, if you look at the bottom left corner, you'll see a small tab there. That small tab is basically the news tab where you can get news feed about what's happening in the Buildbox community. About what's happening in the Buildbox community, and you can just get updated with everything that's going on in the Buildbox community. And under there are some icons here that can link you to Buildbox. You can send them a mail. You can join the Discord server. You can join Facebook. You can join, and you can also watch video tutorials on YouTube and see what's up to date with Buildbox. So now on this main tab here, this main tab where my cursor is, you have the templates tab, the tutorials tab, and the updates tab. So the current version of Buildbox is 3.3.11, which I am currently using as well. And you have the tutorials tab here. So in this updates tab, before we go, it just shows you the issues that were faced and the issues that were resolved during that particular update. So from here, you can always see the issues that were resolved. And with this, you can just know that, oh, probably you had an issue before. If you just go through this, you'd see that, oh, my issue has been fixed already, then you can update. Then now you have the tutorials here. You have access to a bunch of tutorials made by Buildbox. So there are so many tutorials here that you can make use of. And with this, it makes the learning process much more easier, like so much easier. Then if you want to upgrade your plan from here, you can always upgrade your plan. Can you see it takes you to the sign up page where you can always upgrade your plan. So back to Buildbox. Now you have the major guy here. This guy here is called the templates.
All right, Tosin, a lot of them say you're too fast.
Oh,
so
too
can
fast.
you like slow down and take
All
it
right, then.
one after the other? Yeah.
All right then. So let's go back to the tutorials.
So some of them are.
Okay, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, so
I'm sorry
one
about
after
that. I will try to take it as steady as possible. So like I explained, the update tab shows you the current version of Buildbox you are using. So after that, you go to the tutorials tab. Now on the tutorials tab, you have various tutorials that you can watch on how to develop your games with Buildbox. If you look at this now, getting started, make a simple driving game. Under this, you have add monetization, your UI workspace, and like an overview of your 3D world, something that would get into during this process as well. So you have various tutorials that you can just have a look at. Let's see, for example, now let me click on one of them. It takes you to Buildbox's YouTube.
Hey, what's up, boxers? This is Zach Rizzo.
Can you see this? So from here, you can watch your tutorials and learn, basically. So that's basically what the tutorials tab is for. You have access to a bunch of tutorials from Buildbox. Now, moving to templates. Did we all get that for the tutorials and the updates? I'd like to get a yes in the comments, in the chat, sorry. If you got what we talked about for the tutorials and the updates, I'd like to get a yes in the chats. Hello, are we all following? Can someone just type a yes in the chat so we can move ahead? So I know that you guys are with me. Anybody? Awesome. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Okay, now, so this is the main guy, the templates tab. So basically, what are templates? Templates are like projects in Buildbox that help us work faster. Let's say, for example, you want to create a Subway Surfers game. If you look at this Martian marathon now, it looks something like a Subway Surfer game already. So that's like a template you can make use of. With templates, you don't necessarily have to build from scratch again. You don't have to build from scratch again. This really helps you save time during development. Imagine you had to build from scratch again, the amount of time it will take. No, Buildbox has helped you out to like remove the stress you would go through and the amount of time you spend building from scratch. So we have different templates here depending on the type of game you want to create. And if you hover with your cursor on each of these boxes, you would see an example of how the gameplay on each template looks like. So as you can see that I'm hovering on this little windows here. Now you can see that I'm seeing the gameplay of how the game would actually look like. See this, for example, this calculation. So if you want to have a game like this, you can just make use of this template. See this one too. If you want to have a game like this, you can make use of this template. So there are quite a number of templates that you can make use of on Buildbox, which is quite interesting, I must say. So can you see them? So we have so many templates here. And if you feel like you're not seeing something that you can work with here, you can always create a new project. So when creating a new project, you have the option to create either a 2D game, a 3D game, or you start with a template. This is just starting with a template, or you'll be asked a couple of questions before you get started with that. So a 2D game is basically a game that has 2 dimensions, and a 3D game is basically a game that leverages on 3 dimensions. If you look at the little icons we have here, you'll see that this one is a square. That means it has just 2 dimensions. That's your X and your Y. While if you look at the 3D game, it's more like a cube. That means you have your X axis, your Y axis, and Z axis. So it has 3 dimensions, while 2D has just 2 dimensions. That's basically the difference between a 2D game and a 3D game. So for a 2D game, you'd be making use of a square. And for a 3D game, you'll be making use of a cube. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So instead of me just having a square looking sprite, what is a sprite? A sprite is basically an image that you use mostly in your 2D games, while in your 3D games, you'll make use of meshes and models. So we can go back here and let's start with a totally new project before we even make use of templates. So did you guys get that? I'd like to get another yes in the chats before we move ahead. Hello? Just type in a yes in the chat so we can continue. I just want to ensure that you are following me. If you got that right, the difference between a 2D game and a 3D game, can you drop something in the chat? Just type a yes in the chat. Anybody? Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you very much. My mic was muted for a while. So I got a couple of yes in the chat and a no. And also a what's the difference? Good. So now, like I said earlier, a 2D game leverages on 2 dimensions, your X and your Y. If you look at this icon here, it shows you like a square. And your square just has your X and your Y axis. And for your 3D game, it has 3 dimensions. That is your X, your Y, and your Z. That's why you're seeing a cube here. So for a 2D game, I would see mostly squares, circles. But in my 3D game, I would see primitive objects like cubes, spheres, cylinders. Do you understand that? So a 2D game has 2 dimensions, while a 3D game has 3 dimensions. That's basically it. So moving on, let's create a 3D game. So now I would like us to do this as well and just try to open up Buildbox like this so I can explain quite a number of things to us. So if you are done opening Buildbox, creating a new project like this, please type open in the chats. Just type open in the chats. I really want us to be active. I really want us to be active. Please type open in the chats if you have been able to get to where I am currently by creating a new project. All right, then. Thank you very much. So now, if you look at this, we have some new icons that are popping out here now. Buildbox is divided into 3 major layers. And what do I mean by layers? 3 major ways by which you can break down Buildbox. You have the first layer is your mind map. This is your mind map. From here, this is your mind map. So now, what is the mind map? If you can see the left bottom part of your screen, there's a little explanation there that says the mind map allows you to map and organize the flow of your game using visual connections between nodes such as worlds and UI screens. So from your mind map, it gives you the bird eye view of your whole game. Like everything that's going to be in your game is going to be in your mind map. Now the mind map is the topmost layer of your game. Then from your mind map, you can access the next layer. What is the next layer? The next layer is your world. This is your world here. Can you see this scene editor, which is at the middle of our screen? That's the center of our screen here. If you use your if you make use of your middle mouse button to scroll in and scroll out, you would be able to do that. So here is the scene editor. It is the world. And we have one last layer. Hello, somebody's mic is on mute. Good, thank you.
All right, Tosin. Yeah, so you're not reading the chat from the kids. A lot of them are lost and they are not following.
Can you still see my screen?
Yeah, they can see your screen, they can hear you.
All right then.
They don't know how to get to scene editor, mind map, all of those things.
Please follow with rapt attention. I would really appreciate that. If you look at the top left here, you have these different tabs. This is the home where we were coming from, our home page, where we saw our templates, our tutorials, and our updates tab. Then once we created a new project, we created a new 3D game here, if you can remember very well. So once you are done creating that, you would see this particular tab pop up. And what I said was, if you look to your left, to the left top part of your screen, you would see another tab here, which is the mind map. Now, I said there are 3 layers to Buildbox. You have the topmost layer, which is the mind map. This is where we currently are. This is the mind map. This is how the mind map looks like. So basically, the mind map is the topmost layer of your game project. It gives you this bird eye view of everything in your project. And like the explanation said here in the end, it says, I chose 3D game. If you look at the mind map here, it says it allows you to map and organize the flow of the flow of your game using visual connections between nodes such as worlds and UI screen. So now I know the terms nodes, worlds, and UI screens might sound complicated, but just wait, we'll get to that soon enough. So from this your mind map, you can have every other thing that's about your game. Then from the mind map, which is the topmost layer, we can now move to the middle layer. That's the second layer that we can access. So from the mind map here, you can see that you can access a start node and a 3D world node. So these little tiny things you are seeing here are called nodes. So these nodes have a lot of things embedded in them already. Like this 3D world now is, if I double click on this 3D world, you can see that it brings me here. Let me go back to my mind map and show you that again. Once I double click on this 3D world, it takes me to our 3D world. Now, what is our 3D world? Our 3D world is basically our game world. That's what we see on our screen when we are playing the games. Our 3D world is where we can create. In this 3D world, you are the god creating your own world, basically. You have the full license and access to create your own world, bring your imaginations to life using audio, using your models, using everything that can be used in the game to actually create your own world. Now, like I said before, from the mind map, which is the topmost layer, you can now move to the second layer, which is your world. This 3D world. This is your start. This is your start. This is the first thing you would see when you start up your game. And this is the 3D world. Are we following? We have explained 2 different worlds now. The topmost layer, which is your mind map, and the second layer, which is the world. The different worlds here. Then the last layer, it's with the last layer, which is the bottommost layer, is your node map. Let me show you that. So once I double click on a cube, you see this right here is called a node map. So a node map is the last layer, whereby from these node maps now you can like have, sorry, we have another chat. Okay. So from this node map, you can like join your models together and create different variations of your models. Hello, can you all hear me? Please, can you all hear me? All right, then, thank you very much. So moving on, in this 3D world now, you have the center here is your scene editor. And if you look to the left bottom part of your screen, you would see an explanation of each of these things when I hover the cursor around them. So now the scene editor is where you can add your assets. What are assets? Assets are basically your 3D models and the likes that you are using in your game. So those are assets. Assets could not just mean 3D models alone. It could mean your sounds. It could mean your images. So those are all the things that make up your game. They are called assets. And from this, your scene editor, you can add the different assets you need in your game. And you can add lights. Then from there, you can edit. This is where you do the magic. The scene editor is where you make the magic happen in your game. Now, moving ahead, if you look to the left here, you have what? Your assets panel. Now, what is your assets panel? It shows you the available assets that you can add to your scene. And if you remember very well, the scene is what is in the center of our screen here in this 3D world. So the assets panel is where it shows you all the available assets that you have that you can add to your scene. So to add an asset to your scene, all you simply need to do is just what? Click on that asset, that object, and just drag it into your scene. Can you see? Let me delete this. Click on that object, drag it into your scene editor, and you'll see it there. I'm deleting it again and doing that again. So now, let me drag it again. Can you see that? So that's basically it. That's a type of asset. Which object? The cube by the left here. That is what I dragged. Can you see this? Just drag it into your scene editor. Can you see that? Click on the cube here in your assets panel and drag it to the scene editor. You should see it there. So now, moving on to the next tab is our outliner. This is basically our hierarchy. So everything you are seeing here is present inside your scene world. If you remember on the asset panel shows us the available assets that we want to make use, that we can add to our scene. But here in this outliner, it shows us everything that is in our scene already. Did we catch that? Okay, so from here you can see that we have a camera, we have a lights on, we have a ground, then we have a level selection start, we have a cube, we have a start here, and we have an end here. I'll be explaining each and every one of these one after the other. Now, in your 3D world, this whole place here, this 3D world encompasses everything that's going to be in this your scene. The first thing is your camera. Now, the camera is the eye of the player. The camera is what makes you look at your 3D world. You know, when you are playing games on your phone and you're seeing something on the screen, it is the camera that is projecting what is inside your world to your screen, basically. So if you look at the top, the left bottom corner, sorry, it explains what the camera is. So this is what the player will see on the screen, just like I explained. In this view, you can change the position, rotation, and zoom of the game camera. So now, for each of these objects that you click on here, if you look to your right here, the right part of the screen, you would see a properties panel. So that properties panel is showing you the properties of that particular camera. So now from here, you can see that the name of your camera is called camera here. That's the name of that object. It's called camera. We have a position on the X, Y, and Z axis. Can someone tell me why we have the position on the X, Y, and Z axis? Anybody? Can someone tell me why we have 3 different values here for the position of our camera, X, Y, and Z? Anybody who would like to give a wild guess?
All right, someone's raising his hand, so let me unmute him. All right, I'm unmuting you. All right, all right.
Okay.
Yeah?
Sorry? We are listening to you. Go on.
It's because of it's
It's
because
because
of
of-
tree wall. It's because of the tree wall.
You are quite close. Let's appreciate him. You are quite close, but that's not the exact thing. The reason
Okay,
why we
another
have
person. No,
all right, then.
let another person try. Alex.
All right, let another person try.
All right, Alex, unmute. All right. Because 3D world. Alex said because it's 3D world.
Awesome, awesome. Please, let's clap for Alex. All right, then. So the reason why you're seeing X, Y, and Z is because it's a 3D world, and all this would come into play. You need this for your 3D world, your X, your Y, and Z. That is your, if as an human being too, we basically see in 3 dimensions. You have your width, your height, and your breadth. Yes. Or rather still your length and your breadth. You know, when you're calculating for volume, you do length times breadth times height. So that's basically what you have here. So your length, your breadth, and your height. That's the 3 dimensions here. So for the position of your objects, you have a position, a rotation, and a scale. So now what is position? The position is basically where that particular object is in your 3D world. But I will not be using the camera, I'll be using an object that we can all see, because the camera is somewhere here. I wouldn't want us to play with that yet. So let's go to the next object, which is your sun. So the sun is what illuminates our 3D world, just like we have the sun here in our world here. Without the sun, everywhere would be dark. So we have some properties here about the sun. We have the sun also has a position, a rotation, and a scale. So what position is where that sun is in the world space, and the rotation is the angle at which that sun is rotated, the angle at which the sun is, and the scale is basically the size of the sun. So now we also have light color here. If I click on this and try to change it, can you see that it affects the way our 3D world looks like? Can you see this? So can you see, it feels like we have a red sun here, and like this is our normal sun. This is like a red sun here. This is how a red sun would actually look like on our game. This is the type of effect it would have. So now we have another property here that talks about the intensity of the sun. That's how bright the sun is. If we reduce this to 0, can you see how dark our scene editor is, our world is? Because the intensity of our sun is reduced to 0. But let's set that back to 1, and now everywhere is sunny. So now, moving on, let's look at our ground. So our ground is basically the ground, just as it is explained here. So if you look at properties, it also has a position and a rotation. Now we can choose a ground type that we want. We have grass here, we have road, we have no texture, we have custom texture, and we have no ground. Once we click on no ground, that means we don't have any ground in our scene, in our world currently. So are we following?
Okay, yeah, a lot of people are lost. I'm very sure of that. Okay, yeah, so we're already past time. Okay, so every day we're going to be try to end at 5:30 every day. So so the thing is, I'm going to still try to like show us, okay, the different parts of like the Buildbox on Telegram. So
Okay.
we can all just go to Telegram. I'll try to label some of the parts for us, and just at least the parts we'll be using. Some of these things might not use them, like sun, ground. We might use some of them, I might not use some of them. So I'll just be showing you like the major ones on Telegram. I'll be sharing screenshots for you so you understand it better. So don't be lost. Don't be confused.
Don't be lost, definitely. Don't be confused.
So really,
there's so much, but we'll get it right.
Yes, so it's a lot, but I'm promising that from tomorrow's class it's going to be more exciting. It's going to be more practical, right? So I believe every one of us have installed Buildbox. That's the most important thing, because if you've not installed Buildbox, tomorrow we're not going to go back to installation of Buildbox. Tomorrow we're going to start building our game. So you need to be ready. You need to be ready. So if you've not installed Buildbox, right? So just go back to Telegram. I shared all the steps you will need. I shared everything for you. Like all the steps you need. I shared it on Telegram to install, to download, to install. Then I'll also be sharing, okay, explaining the environment of Buildbox too on Telegram for you. So take tonight to go through all the messages on Telegram starting from today. Okay, just to understand. So in tomorrow's class by 4 p.m. Don't be late. It's the same Zoom link we'll be using tomorrow as well. So invite your friends, share the Zoom link with them, let them join in. Okay, and tomorrow we'll start making our game. So who is excited? Who is excited? I know I am. Okay, I'm ready to unmute. Allow us to unmute our microphones. So I want to hear some things from some people. All right, so yes, I have a lot of what's here. Okay, so I know today's class was like a lot for us to take in at once, but from tomorrow's class, we'll start designing our games, to start making our games. So don't worry. For those of us that did not have our laptops today, I know Alabi Great did not have his laptop today. He was using his phone. So for those of us that didn't have our laptop, tomorrow try to come with your laptop, okay? So tomorrow try to come with your laptop because it's very important. And try to install Buildbox as well. Teminola, I know you also got lost at some point. Don't worry, just head over to Telegram. I'll be showing you, okay, like what you need to know. All right, I'll be showing you like different things on Telegram. And I'll also be posting the link to today's video in case anybody wants to watch today's video. So you can always watch it. Okay? So you can always watch today's video anytime we want to watch it. For those of us that didn't get it, or those of us that joined late. So tomorrow, don't join late, come early. And tomorrow we'll be starting our game, we'll be building our game. So there are a lot of interesting games we can build. So I'm going to show us an example of one nice game that I saw that we can actually build with Buildbox. There are actually a lot of games you can build with Buildbox. I'll be showing us some that I came across. I'm showing us one that I came across, right? So just for us to be excited, just for us to know the different things we can actually do. Okay, so I'm going to unmute everybody. I'm going to mute everyone so that the feedback is not much. All right, so let me share my screen to just show you. Yeah, so I believe a lot of us can see this my screen. Yes. So this is an example of a game that you can actually build. I'm not saying this game will build though, don't get me wrong. So, but we're going to build a very interesting game as well. So I want us to listen or to look at this. So this is a game that was created by someone. And I know that we can also do it. It's something we can also do if we take our time to practice very well and take our time to learn. Yes, so there are a lot of games that we can actually build. There are a lot of what? There are a lot of games that we can actually build. So I'm going to ask us again. So I want every one of us to unmute our microphones. I want every one of us to unmute our microphones. Everybody, unmute your mic, unmute your mic. All right, so who is excited about tomorrow's class?
Me!
Who is excited about tomorrow's class?
Me!
Still not hearing some people. Who is excited about tomorrow's class?
Me!
All right, very, very good. Thank you for joining today. So try to come early again tomorrow. And yes, just keep going through the interface, everything you need. Any question you have, ask on the Telegram group, okay? So I'll see everyone tomorrow. Bye.
By what time?
Tomorrow, 4 p.m. 4 p.m.
Bye.
4 p.m. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Everybody say thank you, Uncle Tosin.
Thank you, Uncle Tosin. Thank you, Uncle Tosin.
See you tomorrow, Uncle Tosin.
See you tomorrow, Uncle Tosin.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.